You can grab some of these beauties for your own garden at the Austin Daylily Show and Sale on May 21st at the Austin Holiday Inn Northwest from 1 to 4 o'clock. Rich will also host a tour of his garden on May 23rd. For details, click on events at klru.org/CTG. And I'm now joined by Jeff Yarbrough from Emerald Gardens. And Jeff, welcome back to Central Texas Gardener.
Thanks. Good to be back.
Well, our topic today are multitasking plants. Now, in these days that things are hectic, we all expect each other to multitask, so why not expect that from our plants, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So you've brought along a bunch of different plants that meet a variety of different needs, which is terrific. Real briefly, before we dive in, let's tell people a little bit about Emerald Gardens.
Emerald Gardens is a full-scale nursery in Southwest Austin on 290. We carry pretty much all the normal nursery fare, but we do specialize in aquatic plants and a lot of the exotics and more hard-to-find plants.
Okay. Well, and you've brought along some things that we haven't talked about in a while, so let's go ahead and dive in and see these things.
Great.
Now, talking about multitasking, we all want attractive plants, but often need plants that also serve a purpose. Screening is a big purpose that lots of people want to fill, right?
We are getting quite a few people with one home on top of another looking for screens to basically to make their yard a little more private.
Right. Well, one plant that you brought is Pomegranate, and this is the one that we're looking at is a variety called Wonderful. Pomegranates are tough as nails. I mean, these are survivor plants. You see them around old farmsteads and things like that. And they do grow fast and tall.
Very fast, very quick, very easy. Normally they're there long after the farm is gone. And they do quite well here. I'm from San Antonio, and they produce quite a few pomegranates.
You get the Wonderful is a good producer.
Yes.
And this is a plant that also has, I think, one of the prettiest flowers. I mean, just gorgeous rose-like, but the color is striking.
Kind of like a glowing orange carnation, almost. Yeah.
There you go. That's a good description for it. And again, these will grow in best, I think, in full sun for the bloom and fruit production.
They're best for full sun. They'll tolerate a little bit less sun, but you won't get much flowers or fruit in shade.
Right,
Yeah.
but it still would be a good screen in the shade.
Excellent screen.
Right. Okay, so that's the pomegranate, and everybody's crazy about pomegranate juice these days. Why not grow one in your own backyard?
Exactly.
And another tropical fruit plant is the Loquat, and these are plants that have delicious fruit that is underutilized here in the U.S., loved in Mexico and places south. But this is a plant that really, I think, is overlooked too often in our area, especially for those who want to grow food.
Loquats are quite a good evergreen. They grow very fast. Big leaves mean they give you very quick covering and screening. They can be trimmed and sheared, but they do grow very nice natural forms.
Kind of an umbrella shape.
Umbrella shape, almost 20 foot tall, 15 foot wide. I've seen them bigger. They flower in the wintertime. Most years in Austin, we get an abundant fruit that ripens normally about the end of April or sometime in May.
Right.
This winter was a little cold, so no fruit on the Loquats, but they withstood low teens and even below 10-degree temperatures with no problem.
Yeah, and they're just a beautiful plant, big glossy foliage, and again, a terrific choice for a lot of different yards. So Loquat. Yes. Or for those of you from Mexico, Níspero. It's a great plant. Okay, the next one on our list is another one of a double-duty plant for a variety of reasons. This is a non-fruiting variety of olive, right?
Correct. We carry a Bonita olive, which is a non-fruiting variety behind us, and they're exceptionally good evergreen. They're fast-growing. They sculpt and train really well, so you can do almost anything you want with one.
Right.
And they're extremely durable. They're now planting olives for production in the hill country.
Oh, yeah. Now, I'm excited by the fruiting varieties, but on the double duty side here, these are exceptionally attractive plants and quite xeric. They don't really require a whole lot of water, and I love the gray-green look you get with them.
Right. Very nice. Good substitute for a Pride of Houston Yaupon holly, possibly a little larger growing, but excellent plant.
Yeah. I'm not big on the Pride of I like the regular Yaupon. I'm not so big on the Pride of Houston. Okay, now we have the Satsuma orange, And this is a great plant for, of course, fruit production, beautiful fragrant flowers, and again, people are really loving to explore the citrus right now.
Yes. A&M has done a lot of testing on the Satsuma oranges, and there's a number of varieties that tolerate middle and low teens and do quite well here. They all produce very good quality oranges. They peel easily and are low seed content and good sweet oranges. So even this winter, we with a light grow cover, we had almost no foliage loss. Depending where people live in town, some people had better results than we did.
They make a good container plant as well.
Yes, they do, and there's quite a few other varieties of citrus as an excellent patio container plant.
Okay, so be on the lookout for Satsumas among the different citrus that are out there. We have a fruit theme going today, and we have a grapevine to show people.
We have a wine grape here, but there's many varieties of grapes that do well. And again, the A&M has tested quite a few varieties for many years, and there's a lot of recommended table grape varieties. And there's a lot of wine grape varieties for people who want to make wine.
And which variety is this?
This is the Cabernet Sauvignon. I can't pronounce that right.
Sauvignon, that's all right.
Sauvignon, yeah.
And right underneath of that, we have Star Jasmine.
Star Jasmine is one of the best vines, I think. It'll grow in almost any location, sun to shade, even flowers nicely in the shade, and is the best controlled vine. So for trellises, you can't get any better.
It's a well-behaved little plant and incredibly beautiful fragrance on this.
Right.
And depends on where you were, I guess, this winter, whether it was cold hardy or not. But in my area, in central Austin, sailed through like a charm, but doesn't die. It usually just goes back to the ground if it's really exposed.
Yeah, we have a big one on the fence, took very little winter damage, so I think in most areas it fared very well. Yeah.
Right next to that, we have one of the bignonias. This is a cross vine. And this is this Tangerine Beauty or Tangerine Dream? I forget which.
Tangerine Beauty, I believe.
Okay, yeah. And boy, when this blooms all at once, it's just such a sight.
They're very nice, and they'll flower sporadically throughout the year here and there, and they have excellent fall color. They get very nice burgundy purple leaves on them in the fall, which a lot of people don't consider when they're putting them in a landscape.
Yeah, well, the crossvine is one that I think a lot of people should be thinking about, and this is the best behaved of that family. There are some that are not so well behaved, but very dependable. Quite xeric. Once it's established, doesn't really require a lot of fuss at all. Self-pruning in terms of the flowers, you don't need to cut them off. It's a great plant for a lot of reasons.
Yes, it is.
Now, this is one that we have never talked about on the show. I want to spend some time visiting about. It's got this kind of sandpapery quality leaf.
It's very heavy textured plant, and it is used as fiber plant in industry. This is Rayme, and it's used to make clothing and purses, satchels, all kinds of garments and such. And it's a very aggressive ground cover that could be used in place of an English ivy bed.
For shade.
Trees. Mostly for shade.
Yeah, it looks like the broadleaf thing would be a shade plant.
Yeah, if it gets too much sun, the wilting would be an issue on it.
Well, it's a handsome leaf. I like the form of the leaf.
Very attractive, very good green, and it holds the green real well too.
Okay, so Rayme, and I guess if people process it, they could weave their shirts.
They can certainly make their own clothes out of it, right?
So you can double duty that way. Now, right next to me, when we only have just a brief time here, but this is one that I'm excited about. This is Chaparral Sage.
Chaparral Sage, Salvia clevelandii, and it's a desert native, West Texas and into Mexico and Arizona. It makes about a 3-foot tall evergreen shrub like a Texas sage, but with long bloom salvia blooms on it. Extremely fragrant.
Yeah, the foliage is very, very fragrant, and I'm sure that it's a tough survivor. It looks like a real xeric plant. We're going to have to wrap it up on that note, Jeff, but I really do appreciate you coming along. I hope people look out for the Chaparral Sage and all the other cool things that you've brought from Emerald Gardens. And they can find you online at pondsandgarden.com.
That's right.
All right, thanks for being here. And coming up next, it's Daphne with Down to Earth.